It's already recording. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you see me or no?
No,
Okay, because I didn't put the video on. So-
that's why I can't see you.
Yeah, that's right. So I just want to make sure. I just wanted to make sure. Okay, I guess we can wait for 4 minutes, no?
Yeah, usually people come like the last second if somebody comes. So,
One more minute.
yes.
One more minute. One more minute. Almost. You driving already? Are you waiting for the light?
Yes.
Waiting for the light.
No, I'm driving. Which lights? There's so many lights, but I'm going on I-35.
Oh, okay.
Okay, 8:30,
Now
so we can start.
we are going to start. Okay, so I want to
So,
know.
wait. So, introduction. So, welcome to the Drive to Work with Me Wednesday. So we're trying this out, seeing how it goes. And yeah, just a short 15 minutes call where you can ask questions, or you can ask me questions, or you can ask questions about HVAC in general, and I'll try and answer them on the spot. If I don't know, we'll write down the questions and either answer them in the community or on the next week's call. Yeah, we're trying to implement this on a weekly basis, and we're just trying to find out what times work for you and what times work for me, because I'm obviously trying to help you get better at troubleshooting. That's the biggest concern that I've seen across the community, that everybody wants to get more certain about troubleshooting. And I have been troubleshooting for over 10 years, air conditioning equipment. And the first 4 years that I worked on air conditioning equipment, I couldn't even connect my gauges and check refrigerant charge because I did not have my EPA license. So I learned a lot about the electrical side of things and the control side of things. Um, so yeah, anyways, so that's how we're starting. And we'll see. It's just you, Vicky, and me. And then so if you have questions, we'll answer them. Otherwise, I can explain a little bit about air conditioning in general or whatever you're interested in. So you have prime candidates seat. So
Okay. Okay, so I have a question. So basically, my first question is, how did you get into HVAC?
how did I get into HVAC?
Yeah.
Basically, I started. Um, yeah, no, I was working for a company. It was a nonprofit in Florida. And honestly, I kind of just fell into it a little bit because I was supposed to, I don't even know what the job title is called, but the people that clean like marble floors, like marble polishing people. Um, and that was not really my calling. And I was really interested in electricity. So I asked if they have a position open in electricity, and actually they needed somebody there. But then they said, if you want to do that, you have to do building maintenance, and you have to learn about plumbing and air conditioning as well. I said, well, that sounds better than polishing all the floors. I mean, nothing against polishing all the floors. That's really awesome, but just not my calling. Um, yeah, and then I did like a crash course in all three of in plumbing, electrical, and air conditioning. And also they had trade professionals on site, and then obviously third party contractors. So I did some crash courses in those fields, and then I did some quick apprenticeships under each one of the trade professionals. So I would say about 2 months for each like study. Like that was like all theory study in plumbing, electrical, and air conditioning, just on a like building maintenance kind of aspect. So like how to fix a toilet that doesn't flush, or like unclog a sink, or uh yeah, like repair light switches, or like identifying light bulbs, and then basics of air conditioning, how to change a filter, how to change a belt, how to grease bearings. Um, yeah, and then I did about 2 to 3 months apprenticeship with each of the trade professionals. And then that was about it. Then I just started and then I learned everything on the job in building maintenance.
I see. And then, for being an HVAC, is there a specific certification that you need to have, or you just can't start by apprenticing and then that's all?
Yeah, that's I think you need to look at your specific state because every state is slightly different. Generally, what I know is if you are working for a company as a licensed air conditioning contractor, you can work under that license without having any license yourself. The only license that is required by law, it's a federal law, is the EPA license, which EPA stands for Environmental Protection Agency, and it's called the EPA 608, so 608 license. And there's different licenses depending on what size of equipment you're working on. And that license is specifically to allow you to connect gauges and probes to refrigerant and buy and recover and work with refrigerant itself because refrigerant has a zone depleting potential and it has like a negative environmental impact. So you want to control who can deal with and handle that type of like refrigerant. So substance, that's what I want to say, a kind of substance. But otherwise, I don't like, I mean, I was in Florida and in Texas, and both of the states, they don't require an actual technician license, but you can still apply with the Department of TDLR. That's what it's in Texas, Texas Department of License and Registration. And you can do an apprentice license for air conditioning and then I think a technician license and then a master's license. But that is independent of your contractor's license. So that just certifies you as a technician. So people know that when they hire you, like they do a general background check. So they know they're not hiring a criminal person and they're hiring somebody that has been verified by the state and that is licensed to do it. But that doesn't even allow you to buy or sell equipment. For that, you need your contractor's license, air conditioning contractor's license.
Okay.
I don't know if that answered the question or if that was too much or too little.
No, that was
That was
very
maybe
good. That's very
information
good.
overload.
No, that's very good. That's actually very, very, very enlightening. Okay, and then I know that obviously when you're HVAC, you use some electricity. So should you
Oh, a
also
lot of electricity.
yeah,
A lot of electricity.
or like like there's a electrics connected with it. So is it worth it to also study some of that, or should I just be an HVAC and that's it, or how does it work?
Well, HVAC is, I mean, internally referred to each other or to ourselves as the jack of all trades because we can do everything. Because we do plumbing, we do electrical, and we do refrigeration. So because like plumbing, like your piping and drain lines, and then you have your refrigeration lines that you're brazing. So you're dealing with that, and then you have controls, and then sometimes you also have building automation, which is computer controls for the air conditioner. So you're really doing everything if you're getting into HVAC, and I think it's for people that are more interested in having a larger challenge. I think that's just me. But to your question, you definitely should learn about electricity, but I would start with the basics, like how electricity works, like the basics of it. What are the different voltages you're dealing with? Because depending if you're working on residential or commercial, you can have anything from 120 volts to 460 volts. and you need to know what's the difference between single phase and three phase. It's basically just if you're having power on one line coming to the air conditioner or on three lines coming to the air conditioner. Because that, if you don't know that, it's very, very hard to troubleshoot if there's any electrical issue with the unit. And then I would also recommend learning about switches, like light switches and electrically activated switches, which they're called contactors or relays. But it's basically just a light switch that gets activated with another signal. So you can basically go on your computer and say turn on, and then it turns on the light switch. That's basically like a contactor. That's how it works. But I would learn about the basics of electricity and yeah, either like switches or like how controls, the basics of controls. Um, yeah, that's where I would start. I wouldn't go into it very much in the beginning. I would just start out with the basics. And I always encourage you just start and get into the field and find a company that hires new technicians and teaches them, because it's very hard to visualize everything that you're studying in textbooks if you don't know the equipment or what you're actually working on. So it's a lot better, I think, if you have the knowledge of working on an equipment and being there, seeing it, feeling it, measuring stuff, and getting familiar with it, and then reading something else. So I would, if you really want to like study, I would almost recommend, like, I don't know if people do that, but like over the summer months, I think there's like companies that look for helpers and then do like a few months of just helping. So you get around the trade and then go to school afterwards, because then you already have some basic reality with the field that you're getting into.
So it's better to have some experience in itself before, because otherwise you won't be able to visualize what you're studying. That's what you're saying. But it's
That's my take, my personal take. Um, yeah, that's just from my experience, from my personal experience, and also what I've heard from other technicians in the field and other companies that are looking to hire. They say that even new technicians coming out of trade school, they don't know what to do in the field because they don't have the correlation between um, the textbooks and the in-field application. So they actually have to train them all over again, which then what's the point if you're spending like tens of thousands of dollars on trade school and then you have to learn everything over, and maybe you misunderstood something in there because you couldn't visualize it in the classroom, and then you have to unlearn something that you paid money for to learn just to relearn it later.
mm,
So yeah, just for me, it has like a lot more benefits, because also when you're learning in the field, you're getting paid to learn,
mm.
which instead of when you go to school, you're paying to learn. So you're already generating income by learning about the field. And I mean, that's just my take. Like it's obviously different people are different, and some people learn better in the classroom. But just an example, I had a friend who, well, I still have a friend, but he told me he paid like several tens of thousands of dollars for trade school. And he said in the beginning they had some in-class, like actual hands-on training, a little bit here and there, a little bit on brazing and a little bit of components in the beginning. But then towards the end, all they did was watch YouTube videos from remote. So he was working. I mean, he was working while he went to school, so that was probably beneficial. But he said uh, he paid all of this money to get his EPA license, and it took 9 months. And in the end, most of what they did is watch YouTube videos. They also got some basic tools for the money they paid, which is awesome because tools is very important. But then I asked myself, if you're paying all of that money and you're not even getting that much actual in-person class experience, what is it really you're paying for? Because you could just watch the YouTube videos on yourself by yourself. So anyways, that's
Wow.
just my take, but
Well, that makes sense. And I guess I ran out of time, but all the information you gave was very enlightening because then I have a better idea of what to look for, what to do. Those are just the basics of HVAC. I mean, from my viewpoint, because I wanted to get a whole new, like a whole viewpoint of like the different things that you have to envision in order for you to be an HVAC. But basically, it's pretty good, and I have like a better idea. But as you said, like school, yes, that's good because if you're learning the basics, it's good. But also, if you don't have, if you don't have what they're saying and you're not doing it, you may not retain it or whatever. So
Yeah, you might not retain the information. Yeah, that's correct.
yeah,
And
so
and that's honestly why I started what I started because in the beginning, okay, now we have time. Now we're out of time, but anyways, I will finish my sentence. Um, that's why I started the school community because I was looking for a good way how I could put together courses where you can learn something by yourself, but then also give a community approach where you can ask questions if you run into something that is like that you don't understand and you don't know how to resolve. Because even if you like have 20 technicians and they're all in the field for, let's say, 3 years, everybody works in different equipment and comes into contact with different scenarios. So even though you might all be at the same learning experience in the trade, you might have widely different experiences and something that somebody else might not know. So by you asking, they might be able to give you a hand. And then as a community, the whole community learns faster and becomes better technicians faster together. So that's why I'm putting it together. And that's why I think school is a great platform because you have the courses and I'm working on putting more stuff together. But then you also have the community and then we're trying to implement these live calls where you can ask specific questions and also get to know other technicians. So that's why I'm doing that because I think it's a better alternative over the the traditional classroom experience or the traditional trade school, which is also very expensive, as I found out.
makes sense. Okay. Well, thank
Anyway, it was
you.
awesome chatting with you.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe next week we have some more people here. So, so
Yeah.
otherwise, it'll be just you as the host and then me as the speaker.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
good.
it's
Alrighty.
fun
Thank
anyway.
you.
Okay, Victoria, have a good day.
Okay.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.